Alright, what's up y'all, Takeovers here. As you can see by the title of today's video is 80 rating on every attribute, actually a good build in NBA 2K22 Next Gen. So, as some of you guys know, I've already made a video on this, but I have a couple topics on this I want to revisit, so we're going to come back to this build. I last posted it probably 150 days ago. It's kind of crazy that we're that far through 2K22 Next Gen already, but anyway, what I want to talk about with this build is you could either make this at 6'7" or 6'8", but it's so viable in every attribute rating possible. So for instance, you have things like driving layup, where it unlocks every layup animation you pretty much want with every build. 80 3-pointer or mid-range gives you Hall of Fame sniper, 80 ball handle gives you a lot of the key animations that you're going to want in terms of dribbling, and just in general, I mean, the list goes on and on with this stuff. 80 is a pretty good threshold to reach for a lot of different attribute ratings. So we're here to talk about this in today's video. Hope you all enjoy, and if you do, for to drop a like, sub if you're new to noties, all good stuff. Let's try this one to 500 likes as well. So first and foremost, let's come back to the title of the video. Is 80 rating on every attribute actually a good build in 2K22 Next Gen? I think so. This looks pretty good. I will say though, there's a couple different key ratings that we want to meet for certain thresholds. I don't think you should go 80 on everything. For instance, if you go like literally one more block rating, boom, there's a gold intimidator just for having 81. Also, if you go one more rebound rating, there's a silver rebound chaser and Hall of Fame box just for having one more as well. Going up from 80 pass accuracy to 85 is going to give you the gold bullet passer, key essential for running any play initiator type build, whether you're a point guard or just a secondary ball handler, whatever the case may be. Gold bullet passer is very nice to have, and obviously 85 is the key attribute threshold that you do want to reach for that rating. Now, for driving dunk, you could go to like 84, get some contact dunk packages, just the pros, and at that point, I think you have what you would want with your build in the finishing category. 80 driving layup is definitely good enough. It's going to give you the jelly and circus layup animation, as well as you still get an extra finishing badge and fearless finisher from bronze to silver. Also, for close shot rating, if you go to 80, you also get mouse in the house on gold instead of silver, hook specialist a level higher, and then for post control, you can go one higher. You're going to get Hall of Fame drop stepper and an extra finishing badge. And the key thing that I'm looking for in this build too would be so cool to shoot for having 25, 25, 25, and 25 on your badge categories, and with the extra finishing badges or extra shooting badges you could apply to your build, whether that be through the college or just the season upgrades as well for hitting level 39, you could definitely achieve having 100 badge points and 25 in each category. Now, I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are on this of dropping standing dunk completely off your build. At 6'7", I think you could definitely get away with it. Having 80 close shot rating is also good enough, with still having gold fast twitch and silver grace under pressure. And again, I mean, dead zone is dead zone. If you're down there and someone is on you that's smaller than you, they're probably not contesting you very good. I mean, it is what it is. So overall, you could probably drop off your standing dunk. I think if there's any rating to completely take off on this list, I think you could definitely get away with doing the standing dunk, because again, close shot rating and dead zone and just being taller than your opponent, or just taking advantage of them like that, or if you're going for the quick drops or the like driving contact dunk, whatever the case may be, right? If your opponent jumps, you're going to end up down there with nobody to guard you, and simple as that, you just throw the close shot up instead of going for the driving dunk when they're going too hard for the chase down. So either way, I think you could definitely get away with dropping your standing dunk completely off. You don't get many finishing badges for it either by going all the way up. Again, going from 25 to 50 gives you literally nothing, and there's no badges really tied to it besides rise up. That's literally it, to be honest. Now, obviously, you could upgrade your standing dunk and make things like fast twitch, lob finisher, posterizer cheaper, but again, these are all tied to different attribute ratings. The only one that's not is going to be rise up, so pretty much you can get away with dropping this all the way off, in my opinion. Now, next up, we have mid-range rating. I think if you wanted to up one of these between 3-pointer or mid-range to 83, if your build can do that, it'd be pretty cool as well. You get the gold hot zone hunter, and overall, just get an extra shooting badge as well. Also, on top of that, you still raise things like set shooter, rhythm shooter, and volume shooter all the way up one level as well. Granted, they're also some of the worst badges in the game, but I think there's a case to be made for some of them. And obviously, things like volume shooter, you can't really afford to run on the Hall of Fame level if you only have 24 shooting badges. But either way, there's a couple different things that it unlocks with this. And again, I think gold hot zone hunter with 83 mid-range is definitely something you could shoot for with this. And then for playmaking, I think everything's pretty much squared away. 85 is a good pass actually to go for. 80 ball handle is definitely good enough as well, and 77 speed with ball. It's all we can afford to have on this build of being 6'7", but it's what we have to do to provide some of the attribute ratings. For instance, the ones on defense achieving at least 80. So for instance, like offensive rebound, defensive rebound, block. Interior D obviously is a little bit lower, and to get these ratings, I have vertical down to 70. Now, obviously, we could drop the stamina back down to 80 and then put that into vert. Overall, though, if there's one attribute rating that makes no sense to put down to 80, if you ask me, I think it's going to be stamina. I mean, honestly, this is so cheap, it's so affordable, and I just don't think you should ever sacrifice your build like that. I mean, 19 ratings of stamina gives you 6 vertical, so it's up to you to decide whether that's a decent trade-off. If you want to shoot for the theme of actually having 80 in pretty much every attribute rating, you could definitely drop it to 80, and then boom, like I said, you get some vertical back off that. And again, just to kind of address this, we're not varying in any different attribute rating, either going up 5 or down 5. Any more than that, it's literally 85 pass accuracy, nothing lower than 80 except for standing dunk, and then obviously interior defense. Now, the defensive discussion is where this stuff gets a little bit, I would say, underwhelming to an extent. So pretty much with perimeter defense and steal, you could be shooting for so much higher on the 6'7" with a decent wingspan, and you're kind of sacrificing the fact that you're dropping your three-pointer down to 80, and maybe your driving dunk is only 84. So overall, it's a little bit underwhelming to only have 80s in every defensive category. But as you can see, you get every badge on at least silver besides post lockdown and brick wall. So it's definitely a W when it comes to that. Again, with raising a couple key attribute ratings on defense, we're going to be able to get that intimidator up to gold instead of silver for 81 block rating, as well as, again, box and rebound chaser both being on Hall of Fame and silver off having 81 on either defensive or offensive rebound rating. So I think this is definitely a nice looking build. I think 80 steal rating is definitely good enough. At 78 steal rating, you get the gold interceptor, and then 80 is a nice threshold as well. I believe the steal ratings move in thresholds of 10s. So for instance, 90, 99, 80, 70, all types of stuff like that. So achieving the 80 is definitely a W. And after the passing lane patch, where it's not just Hall of Fame or bust, and you can get away with having 80, I think that only makes this build even more viable. But I will say a couple of the negatives. You could have gold clamps, gold menace, gold ankle braces, and stuff like that on this build. You could even achieve having Hall of Fame actually. But overall, I think having silver and 80 is still okay, but that is the one big noticeable difference in your build that I will say you're going to see is having lower perimeter defense. On a build like this, where at 6'7", you're probably expected to be the team's on-ball lockdown defender, or at least feature in to be doing something really key when it comes to defense. I mean, typically when you bring the 6'7" into the park or pro-am, it's probably going to be something between playing the 2 on park, aka like in the 3v3, or on Pro-Am, you're probably playing the 3 or the 4. And I take that back. You're probably just playing the 3. I mean, it's going to be as simple as that. But you're going to be expected to be playing a lot of really good defense, and you don't want to, your team's not going to want you to just be a corner boy. I'll just put it like that, especially on defense. But again, this does have a lot of good versatility. I think in that terms of versatility, though, it does hurt a little bit to only have 60 interior defense. But at the end of the day, you still have decent block rating. You still have silver rim protector. And obviously, this isn't the complete saving grace, but having Hall of Fame pogo stick still helps a little bit as well. But again, it's a little bit limited perimeter defensively, and obviously with its height, it's a little bit limited with the interior defense as well. So it's not really the best of either world when it comes to defense, but in terms of balance and just really good overall gameplay between everything to do with this build, it looks pretty solid. I mean, again, you have contact dunks, you have a viable 3-point rating with Hall of Fame sniper, you have really decent ball handle with like 80 ball handling, gives you some really good animations and stuff like that. Solid passer, as solid as it gets. I mean, 85 pass accuracy, you can't really ask for more. And then again, versatile on defense. If you look at the badge count, we're definitely shooting for something like 25, 25, 25, and 25. It's a pretty cool little thing. I mean, all you'd have to do is pretty much do the 2 finishing and 2 defense, and then you could simply just get an extra season like reward to get 1 extra badge point, and then boom, you put it into shooting, 25 everywhere. And I'm sure most people who play the game could afford to have more than that if you've hit level 39 in multiple different seasons. So overall, it's a really interesting build, and it's a cool little theme, I guess, is pretty much how I'll say it. I think it'd be really cool if you drop someone off and then boom, they look at your player card and they see literally attribute ratings all over in the 80s. It'd be so cool. Anyway, besides that, I don't really think there's a lot of changes I would make on the build, other than if you don't plan to play Pro-Am at all, you could just take the free throw off entirely, and then you'd actually be able to round up one of these ratings to actually having 80. So for instance, with vertical, you could put that up, or if you wanted to keep the vertical at like 76, you actually could have interior defense a little bit higher. So then it'd be a little bit more viable. You could get an extra defensive badge as well. So it's all up to you, honestly. And whether it's a build that's worth making or not at this point of the year for you on 2K, that's a whole different story. I mean, obviously it's getting a little bit late in the year, but it does look like a really cool build. And for 1v1, this would still be very viable as well. I think you definitely are not limited too much in any different attribute rating at all, and you'd be pretty viable at every level of the court. Also, if you were to make this with no free throw, all you'd have to do is up your perimeter defense to 81, defensive rebound to 82, and then you can just throw the rest into stamina. Boom, just like that. Now you have 26 defensive badges, and you actually would have 99 out the gate, I believe, right? Nope, it'd be 98. But either way, you guys get the deal. It's the same difference. I mean, you could just put the extra in finishing and shooting, then boom, just like that. You're going to have, again, the whole 100 all the way across the board of 25 or more in every category. It's so cool to see this stuff. And I would love to know if someone actually made this build from the video that I made over 150 days ago, and see if you guys have any gameplay with it, or if you'd be down for me to hop on the account and actually play with it. It'd be so cool to hop on a build like this. I might even make one myself. I don't really know. Like I said, it's getting late in the year. I'm not exactly sure if I would be wanting to do that, but either way, an interesting little concept, and I would definitely be down to play on that. Anyway, with the takeovers, you're gonna have shot, lock, glass, and post. However, I did notice something. If you drop your perimeter defense down back to the 80, then you're actually going to have playmaker takeover instead of lockdown. So it's really cool too. That's even an option that you can have where you could pretty much just vary in only one different attribute rating and be able to get like 5 takeover options. So pretty cool. And hey, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Honestly, I think it's really cool to look at build stuff like this, even if it's not super informative or anything like that. And it's just, this is more of an entertaining build video if you ask me. It's really cool to look at concepts like this and be able to look into a build that's so original and so different from anything you'd ever see in this game. So versatile and so well-rounded, yet not really elite at anything. You don't really see that a lot in this game. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. And again, if anybody has this build, feel free to reach out to me and let me know if you'd be down for me to hop on the account for some gameplay. I would love to play on something like this. But anyway, that's all for the video. Hope y'all enjoyed. Like I said in the intro, if we could try this 1 to 500 likes, I'd really appreciate that. And if you made it to the end of the video, put 80 in the comments to show support me all the way through. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed. Take it easy, man. Peace.